Good evening, gentlemen. A full house. We had the discussions on feed in terms of the new alternatives, the technology upgradation, and how we can look in terms of, if not lowering the cost, at least maintaining the cost in spite of raising ingredient prices. I'm sure these alternatives, what was suggested, would be very useful and industry would try. Later, we had discussions in terms of processing. I feel that's a sunrise industry. Today, if in case the solution for industry we are looking at, I think most of us here would have to look in terms of the processing at different places, be it in rural market or urban market, and that maybe is the way forward, that maybe is the solution. India is still currently 95% around for chicken in wet market, and for eggs probably more than 98 or 98 and a half or 99% is still sold without any value addition. In these circumstances, I think when we have the mismatch between supply and demand, obviously we have to see in terms of how market, if in case we have to absorb these fluctuations, the way forward would be getting into processing, especially in broilers, by all of us. And I'm sure the challenges that marketing would have to address, the panelists would take it up. I'm very fortunate to have very distinguished panel members, and I'm very fortunate to be amongst them to address this issue. May I have the pleasure of requesting them to come onto the dais. Mr. Suresh Chitturi, the earlier IC chairman, he has rich experience, he has a lot of ideas about egg marketing, and I'm glad that he's with us. Suresh, you have a lot of experience in advertisement through social media. How do you make eggs and chicken more popular through the social media in terms of the 2-tier, 3-tier cities as well as in the villages?
So I think some issues are easier for egg because I think like in my house there is no way nobody is eating eggs every day except I think 3 days in a year. That too if my wife and mother really get angry with us. Otherwise, but I think first and foremost, I think as an industry, some years back we did Roj Ka Ande and people still talk about that only. I think we have not evolved out of that. We have not done more. Eggs especially have a fantastic opportunity today. I mean, somebody was asking me, sir, how did you lose weight? I said 4 eggs a day. So, and of course, half a kg of chicken a day. so I think that's one side, right? And we need to educate. If you go to, Chinraj sir was alluding, if you go to doctors now, even they are still talking about stuff which is 20-year-old knowledge about eating cholesterol and all that, which is completely bogus, right? And because that's all gone now. Science is actually completely in our support. So I think that's where we have to go. We have to invest in educating doctors and even media also to a large extent. That's one side. On the export side, Anand Uncle, there's a huge opportunity around us. And I was shocked that when I was seeing the numbers, roughly 1/3 of our country's production can be exported. Two things, we have a very bad reputation. Our eggs especially have very bad reputation wherever we are sending. And I'll give you one example. Recently, Malaysia wanted eggs from us. They were quite desperate. We sent 10 containers, 60% of the eggs were rejected. And that's it. After that, they don't want to talk to us, they don't want to touch. They need eggs, but they are in a very good price also we would have gotten. But unfortunately, what is happening is there is no quality control on what goes out of a country. Like if you see shrimps or even medicines and all that, there is some control on that, right? We are supplying the world shrimps. All the medicines everybody takes are coming from our country. So there is no reason why we can't sell quality eggs. Now what is quality? Egg size, breakage. These are the two things that they're talking about. Internal quality nobody is talking about yet. And most of these people in our neighborhood, they are not worried about antibiotics and all that. But there's so much chicken coming from Brazil, Ukraine and everywhere. We don't even need too much. 10% of that matlab apna shortage and all these problems will be solved. So I think that's where I think as an industry, we have to get government also to go talk to, like if you see wherever US or Europe, you see how their governments are coming and pressurizing our this thing to do. That's where I think we also need to educate our government. First point, I think that is completely lacking. I think rarely does anybody in the government know what opportunity that is there and all that. I think that's a big problem that we have. I think there we will also have an advantage if you're exporting. We can probably import feed also that will reduce our cost of production even more. The surplus production has to be pushed out of the country. If it is in the country, then it is playing havoc. So every time we have that excess production, be it frozen or eggs in cold storage, at whatever price, 10 paisa, 20 paisa less, you push it out, then everything price will go up. That's what most countries do. That's what US does, or most of them do when they have this thing. I think these are some things that need to do, but then point is who's going to bell the cat, bring everybody together? Are we as an industry ready to do that together? I think that is where is the gap, if you ask me. I think individually we are all doing well, but collectively we are not doing so well, where I see the problem.
My experience as far as the export is concerned, the rampant use of antibiotics and as well as the residues which is there in terms of pesticides, which is coming to the crops, is coming in the way for unprocessed one. Because sending egg powder, yes, it is possible because there, in terms of captive production, testing, everything is possible. But once we are doing in terms of exporting, procuring from farmers and sending it out, the residue presence prohibits us to send to countries which can pay us a better price. Because sending to Dubai is one option, but if you have to send it to countries which pay you a better price, for such countries meeting the residues problem is becoming a little difficult.
But if you talk of Oman, uncle, is the price because they are demanding less or we are going and offering less? Like as I said, Malaysia, they were not talking about anything, they were not asking for any residues, anything. There are certain things. Egg size was one condition, shell quality was one condition, right? And clean eggs, of course. They don't want dirty eggs and all that. But we didn't, what we sent, you have to understand, as in now Sri Lanka, they're desperate. 15 rupees an egg in Indian rupees right now. Right? Just across the pond from Namakkal, they'll get it for 5 rupees. Just imagine. But why are they scared? Because they're scared about Indian egg, matlab, bad quality. Who did that? We did that. We did that to ourselves. Now, this thing. So, I agree with you, uncle. As we do that, right now we don't have to compete with Europeans and all those on the quality. There is enough market for us to send out few containers, be it Africa, be it Middle East, be it, these countries. They're all desperate for good quality, good eggs now, right now, forget about everything else. But the problem is, when we send one container, you go to Middle East, I have spoken to, I think no trader I have not spoken to. They say, sir, aapke to 10%, 8 to 10% breakage. I don't know how far that is true because I have not gone into this thing. But they are saying the problem with you is heavy breakage of eggs and then small eggs. The Indian eggs that I say is only small eggs. And of course, their definition of small and medium and our definition of small and medium, there's a little bit of mismatch in that. That's also a problem. But I think, if we, as an industry, collectively, we control that, I think there's huge opportunity. There's huge opportunity there. And then we can do other things also. It is not. My point is, who cares for Europe and Japan? I'm not worried about sending to those guys. There's huge market around us. So why not worry about that first? Like chicken from Brazil is 3 months old in Dubai. From here, it can be 1 week, maximum 1 week old, right? If you see the earliest chicken is 3 months old. Sometimes it's 9 months old chicken selling in supermarkets, frozen. But we are not able to sell.
In this context, I must definitely compliment Namakkal farmers. In spite of all the challenges, they're regularly sending eggs out, 2 or 4 containers every week, and that per day, and that really should be complimented. But the same thing is not happening from other areas. Maybe because of advantage of port, they're able to stuff from Cochin, while others have to probably send it to Bombay or other places. But our market has still been traditionally only Middle East, that to Oman. But we have to probably cater to other markets to get our surplus eggs out. That's a challenge which we have to address. How about chicken, sir? Chicken exports. And the other challenge is about the declaration of bird flu frequently and the borders being closed, OA not accepting our explanation in terms of allowing the
So I
exports
think
to happen.
on chicken, we can definitely go for zoning with our government. We have to go talk to our government and put pressure on them, right? Now,
I think our government seems to be favorable. It's only the OIE which has to really
no,
accommodate.
see, OIE, because I've interacted with them enough, see, they have the rules. It's not OIE's problem. They are clearly saying, we have told you what you can do. Now, you have to do it, no? See, if Telangana or say Tamil Nadu goes and convinces the government whatever it is and declares itself a zone, right? Then OIE will accept it. That's it. OIE is not involved, is not going to make a rule for India. Their document is clear, it's for the whole world, right? The problem is, we have to go convince our government and our department to declare, and zone can be anything. It can be one city, sir, one village, one state, one farm is compartment. So that is one thing, right? Anyway, going for compartment will be not easy for everybody. But state-wise zone, we have to go put pressure on government and talk to them. It will take time. But the problem is most of them, they are, the secretary keeps changing every 6 months. Suddenly he comes from finance to chicken, he doesn't. And some of them, sir, Jain sahab to theek hai, apne ko chal gaya, but if he's a Jain, then he's like, baat hi nahi karna chahta apne se. Right? I mean, the point is, those are the things we are confronting there. But we have to, as an industry, go convince government that we are talking of, north-south. No, why north-south? I think state-wise we have to declare a zone. And then they will accept it. If it's Assam, if bird flu in Assam, then it's restricted to Assam. OIE is very simple, sir, because I've asked them, because I've been meeting them a lot because of the cage ban and all that. And they have said, sir, Suresh, this is very simple. It is for you, your government to implement. There is nothing for anybody to do here. The zone can be anything, as I said. Individual farm is a compartment. But zone can be only Namakkal. But yeah, government has to, the state government and central government have to take interest in that, and of course then they'll hold the state government accountable that, are you monitoring bird flu or not? Point of educating our government also. See, when the cage ban thing was happening, uncle, I found out India's OIE representative has not been going for 12 years. He's never gone to the OIE general session. So then where is the vote? Then I ran after him, begged him to come. He came, and then, because here he doesn't give time. Luckily, I found him in Paris. I got time. I explained to him what is the problem. And then he created such a ruckus in the entire assembly, which was what stopped the OIE from banning the conventional cages. So otherwise it was done. The EU and European and the Africans were doing it. Conventional cages would have been banned.
I request Mr. Samir Agarwal to come on to the dais for felicitating the panelists and the moderator. To our honorable moderator, Suresh Chitturi sir, a big round of applause.